That was horrible. Okay, wait, Isaac, stop. Stop everything you're doing.
I'm stopped.
Don't even think about doing anything.
Nothing is happening. Nothing's going on. Okay.
You covering your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Make it really obvious through your voice that you're covering your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know why I'm having you cover your mouth?
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay. Make it like have some good diction though. You're an actor.
What? No.
No, but open your mouth still. Like make it so it's like no one can see who you are.
What? What does this mean?
Just do it. Just trust me. Go with my bit. Yes, and me.
Yes, and
This is probably terrible
covering
audio.
my mouth.
Okay, so we have a camera in front of us, right?
Oh, right. There's people now. They can see us. Maybe.
But I want to keep the illusion of who we are from the...
We should have done that beforehand, gotten like masks or something.
No, I don't like wearing
No,
masks.
that would have been weird.
Unless it's like a spooky mask.
Yeah, we're
Unless
like
it's
Halloween. That's our bit. We'll do like Halloween masks as we do our podcast.
I want to be a pumpkin.
Yeah. So to those of you listening on the radios, you tuned in your old-fashioned, old-timey 1920s radios.
Nothing's different for you.
Nothing's different for
And
you.
nothing will be different either,
But yeah,
to clarify.
we've put a camera in front of us now.
I don't know what that means.
And there's people looking at us, probably. I don't
Probably,
know. We're not
maybe.
even sure how much of this we're going
Hi.
to use. Hi, it's
Hi.
us. We're the That Was Horrible Horror Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Who are we?
I'm Derek.
and I'm Isaac.
What do
We're
we
the
do?
co-hosts of That Was Horrible, a podcast where we do our best to reviewing the worst in the horror community.
And there's a chance you'll never see this footage, and there's a chance you'll never hear this footage.
it may be
And if you
garbage, and we'll never use it.
You never hear this footage, then what does it all mean?
Then what is it all
Ever
about?
thought about that? If
What
a
are we
tree
even-
falls,
what are we even doing here?
If a tree falls in the 100-acre wood, does Winnie the Pooh wake up?
Does he? Could God make a Winnie the Pooh so big?
Does Jiminy Cricket? Wait, no, that's not the guy from Winnie the Pooh. Who's the guy? Jim.
Christopher Robin. Christopher Robin.
That's the one.
That's the guy.
So if Christopher Robin is sitting there eating his scrambled eggs and talking on his radio show with his brother Niles,
Yeah.
and the wood falls in the middle of the 100-acre wood, does he run to Winnie the Pooh?
Does he run to his aid?
Yeah. Did you know that canonically Frasier
What?
and Christopher Robin are the same person?
Why? How is this connected at all?
No, it makes sense. So, like, if you think back to the original Frasier,
Yeah.
which was actually Cheers, the TV show, you know, Norm. all that.
Norm. Yeah, I
If
gotcha.
you think back all the way into that,
Uh
then there's a sign that Christopher Robin one day was going to become a therapist
huh.
and live with his dad and his dog, and that's the whole story.
This is nothing.
No, that's something.
Going
That's it.
nowhere.
No, Google it. It's something. It's not.
What does
anything.
this
I
have
made
to
that
do with our movie? Do you remember what we watched
up.
this
Do you know
week?
what? I was actually going to segue.
Okay, no, yeah, your Christopher Robin Frasier segue. I totally
Because
ruined.
it really, I lay in bed at night and it fills me with fear. It has been haunting me.
It haunts you at night. It is
since
haunting you since
1999.
1999, a whole 24
So-
years ago.
That was 24 years.
That was 24 years ago. You know why I know that?
Wow.
It's because it's when I was born.
Well, the way to dox yourself.
Yeah, you're.
Is that doxing to know someone's
I don't
age?
think it's doxing yourself to tell people how old you are.
Yeah, so we watched The Haunting from 1999.
We watched The
because
Haunting.
on this podcast, which we do with our mouths.
Yeah, we do it sometimes, and
And
now
now
with
with
our
our face.
faces.
We review bad horror movies. I mean, not bad. Okay.
Yeah.
Can I get on my soapbox?
Get on your hop on your soapbox, please.
Just that's what.
Our Foley work is going to be so much harder to do now that I know people can see this.
It's funnier. It's funnier because it's like looking behind the camera.
You're right. Yeah.
Anyway, up on my soapbox.
Up on your soapbox.
Hey, what was my soapbox about?
About the fact that these movies are bad.
Oh, not only call
Oh.
movies bad.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like after 49 movies that we've watched.
Wow, that's
We've
way
watched,
too many.
So we've watched 50 movies for this podcast. This
Yeah.
is the 42nd episode. But after watching 50 movies specifically for this podcast, I've decided that no movie is bad.
Yeah, I think so too.
Every movie takes work
It takes a lot of work.
and people.
And people, like a whole team of people. Like
Yeah.
even the smallest of small short films take a team of people to put
It's
together,
true.
right?
And I think it's unfair to say like your movie's bad.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
suck. Like
You
even
did bad.
Birdemic.
Wow, no. I'm just he go do
The-
yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, no, even Birdemic, right?
Shock and terror.
Shock and terror. It's got one of those things.
Yeah, okay. So I kind of talked myself in a hole there.
Yeah.
My soapbox crumbled.
I don't know.
under my feet.
There are movies that make me feel bad, that's for sure.
Okay, so Isaac, real quick, before we get into the movie and before we start actually doing our podcast.
Yeah, no, because this has all been fake.
I'm going to pull up a timer here on my computer, okay?
Okay.
And every time we bring up the G word, I'm going to hit start.
Okay, so Garfield, the trailer,
no!
It was released on a Monday.
Was it really?
Can we think about that?
That's
Can we
terrible.
talk about that?
We can, but we only have 3 minutes of Garfield
No,
content.
think about this, though. Think about how deep
You
this
want to
goes.
waste your Garfield
Because we're
content
talking about the
on
fact that,
trailer.
like, Garfield is on the inside trying to whistleblow the whole operation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We've been talking about that, right?
Yeah,
he's got to be calling some of the shots, right? He's like, all right, guys, we're going to release this trailer on this date. And everyone's like, yeah, cool, release it on whatever date it was released. But they didn't know it was Monday.
That's true.
And he, canonically hates Mondays as far as, like, the big week wants us to believe and all that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So he's trying to blow the whole situation and make everyone love this movie on a Monday. So now everyone's like, I love Mondays. The Garfield trailer came out today.
Do you think Garfield is in cahoots with U2?
Why is
Because
he in
I heard
cahoots with
U2 is coming
U2?
out with a new version of their song Sunday, Bloody Sunday. And it's
Monday, Bloody Monday. That's really good. Yeah, no, they're headlining the celebration after we rescue him.
I'm gonna go up to U2 and see that they release this Garfield content and just be like, oh, U2?
Oh, U2, Brute.
You get it?
Yeah,
U2, Brute.
Okay, we're done.
Okay.
We're done talking about
that was a minute and 15 seconds.
A minute and 15 seconds.
We
have
2 minutes and 45 seconds left.
There's so much room to play.
If you don't know what we're talking about, last week in our episode, we spent an exuberant amount of time talking about Garfield.
Too much time.
So I set
as
a constraint
always.
for us. I was like, okay, we have 3 minutes.
Yep.
We discussed this.
Yep.
3 minutes of
I feel like we should start at 5. 3 is a little low. I feel like when we've been good boys, we can earn 3. We'll see. I feel like what's gonna happen is like we're gonna keep going and the timer's gonna disappear. The timer's gonna go away from my brain. I'm gonna say goodbye timer and I'm gonna say hello Garfield, you lovely Monday cat.
Hello Garfield. Hello Odie. What's like life in Jim Davis housey? No, I'm done. Is
Jim Davis housey haunted?
Oh yeah, it is. And it's
is there
really
a haunting in this house?
It's also called Hill.
Is this house on a hill?
Yeah, I'm still. Are we done?
Does this count? I don't think. Yeah, no, I think we're done.
Garfield?
No, okay. So Derek, what did we watch? What did we watch? It was your decision this week.
It was.
Right?
So my sister-in-law Heather, she's a big fan of horror movies. She saw this movie way back when, and she said, "Derek, this movie sucks. You should watch this movie."
But there's no bad movies. We said that.
I know, but she didn't believe me when I said
That's true. She's not a believer of our faith. We haven't converted her yet to the no bad movies.
All hail the no bad movies.
All
game.
hail no bad movies. No bad movies. Long live long live all movies. That's nothing. I tried to do a Videodrome. That was nothing.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Very good.
So The Haunting.
Yeah, The Haunting from 1999, rated PG-13. Holy cow. Take a wild guess at how long this movie was.
How long? No, I remember. It's like 2 hours long,
an hour
right?
and 53 minutes, my guy.
It's too long.
Honestly, checks out.
I really get comforted when I sit down for one of these movies or like when I'm looking it up beforehand. I'm like, oh, cool. It's only like an hour and a half long. I can do that. But then we sat down for this one. I was like, oh, man, this one's basically 2 whole hours long.
It felt that, but we'll get into that.
We'll get into it. We'll talk about it. What are you going to talk about, huh?
I'm going to talk about the fact that this was directed by oh goodness, it's another name.
Oh no, come on, you got it.
Jean Debon.
Jean Debon made that movie.
For people like me, it's Jan de Bont.
Jan de Bont.
But Jean Debon sounds a lot better.
That's a lot better. Probably how they want it to be said.
I would argue, yeah. It was also written by David Self.
Self.
We can joke about that
later. Did he write it all by himself? All by his widow self? David Self? I'm so proud of you, David Self. Look at you, he walkies. And he make the movies.
You took a novel by Shirley Jackson and you made a movie?
Oh. Not so original, but I'm proud of you.
So he adapted the book that was written by Shirley Jackson into this movie. Fun fact. Don't get mad at me, Count Trivia. This is actually a remake of a movie from 1960.
He's looking at you, Derek. He doesn't like what he sees.
He is looking at me. it was a remake of the 1963 adaptation of this movie by Robert Wise. So this is actually the second time that this movie has been adapted from the source material. But the fun thing about this movie, before we go into the director,
what's so fun
is the actors in this film.
There's a couple of them,
Yeah.
a couple of people you would not expect to be in a movie rated so low.
You got Liam Neeson.
Oh, Liam Neeson. Liam Neeson.
You got Catherine Zeta-Jones. You got one Wilson.
What a wild character.
Lily Tyler.
Uh-huh.
You also got Bruce Dern.
Oh, wait, no, there's a smudge on your screen. Wait, who's...
No, Liam Neeson.
Liam Neeson.
Oh, Catherine Zeta-Jones. Owen Wilson.
Uh-huh.
Lily Taylor.
Do you
remember when Todd Field was in this movie?
Remind me who Todd Field is,
He
Derek.
was in this movie for 10 minutes. Todd Field was the director of Tar.
Yeah,
he was in that movie.
He was in this movie for a solid 7 minutes and then left and then was never important again. And then he said, hey, that process sucked. I want to make my own movie and call it Tar.
Yeah, he did.
That movie, that was a terrible time. Wait, that was terrible. And that's basically how our podcast was created.
Can we watch Tar for the podcast just to make a that was terrible joke?
We can, but I think it's rated too high, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a really good movie.
Yeah.
It was Best Picture nomination last year.
Yeah. Did this one have any nominations?
It did, but I'm gonna stop trying to segue me.
I don't know. We're just going nowhere.
Jean Debon directed this movie. He also did Twister. But he was just involved in the camera and electric stuff for that.
Oh, okay.
But he did direct the movie Speed. I don't know if you ever saw that movie. He was the producer for Minority Report.
There's a bus in it, right?
Yeah, I think is that the one where the bus is like gonna crash?
I have no idea. I only know of that because I watch a lot of Bob's Burgers, and there's an episode where Bob's got some downtime to himself, and he's like, "Ooh, here's what I'm gonna do for my fun time. I'm gonna build a model of the bus from Speed."
Yeah,
that's his fun. It is Keanu Reeves. It's totally the same thing. Yep.
Yeah, that's funny.
God bless you, Bob's Burgers.
Oh my gosh, you're right.
Yeah,
there's another movie I watched where that happened. It's fine.
It feels like it's happened more than once, I think.
So David Self, he's actually a pretty prolific writer.
He wrote it all by himself.
You really like that joke, don't you? He's written 6 things total.
That's it.
Yeah, but he wrote, this one was his first. This is where he got his try. Then he tried 13 Days, which was a little bit more
13
acclaimed.
Days. Different than 13 Ghosts. Not quite the same.
Road to Perdition, which is a fantastic movie.
Okay.
So
never even heard of it.
It's good.
Okay.
It's good. It's got Tom Hanks in it. It's a Sam Mendes film.
Love Thomas Hanks.
I remember I watched it for my film class a while back.
Whoa, are you a film guy, Derek?
No, I just have a podcast about movies.
Oh my God, wait, we're film guys?
I think we're film guys.
Oh, weird.
Man bun?
What?
Man bun?
Man bun? Is that what it takes? It takes man bun, neck beard to be film guy?
It takes a man bun to become a man.
It takes a village of man buns to create a film guy. I don't know. A cinephile, if you will.
Cinephile. Mm-hmm. Someone's got to have taken that and put an S at the beginning of it, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. That's got to be like a podcast that exists already, right?
Cinephile.
So is that all he wrote?
That's all she wrote.
That's all David Self?
Oh wait, yeah, that is all he wrote.
She wrote it.
So
all
let's
by
talk
herself,
real quick about
David.
the Hauntings box office experience.
Okay, tell me about it.
So this movie had $80 million of a budget, and it made $180 million.
That's so many dollars.
So much money.
It's really interesting to me that things like that happen, because I feel like horror movies are hard to market to people a lot, and I don't feel like they often make a lot of money back for these reasons and stuff. So what was it about this movie that really pulled people in? Was it just Liam Neeson?
I think it was Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
Ultima.
Liam Neeson Ultima. That's not sponsored by Ultima, but Nissan Ultima. If you're listening, I'm available.
I would like to be sponsored by you. We're a car podcast about cars.
Yeah, exactly. That's called.
That was
Horrorble.
Vroom. There was a commercial with that, wasn't there?
Was there? Maybe
years ago. Vroom.
Yeah, we'll just change our intro, but instead of like the piano sounds, it's just like a car, like vroom 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 vroom.
That was horrible.
That was horrible. Oh, is this how we...
danger.
I'm in danger. Is this how we talk on this podcast?
Yeah, Ralph Wiggum is our...
We love to talk about cars on our podcast. That was roomable.
I drive my little 3-wheel trikey.
Here I go. Oh, I fell.
That was done with our own voices. That wasn't voice modulation.
Yeah, no, that was all natural.
Yeah.
Actors here.
What?
What?
So in the box office, though, so this is kind of crazy to me. It opened on July 23rd, 1999. It screened in almost 3,000 theaters, and it made $33 million during its opening weekend. Ooh. This ranked first place ahead of Inspector Gadget,
Whoa.
The Original American Pie, and Eyes Wide Shut.
Man,
those
this
are
got
three
ahead of
huge movies.
Inspector Gadget?
Yeah,
the original?
Man. Yeah.
Whoa.
It was
Go Gadget all the way home. Sorry about it. The Haunting came in here and kicked your ass.
Go Gadget scary.
Yeah. Go Gadget box office money. And then it falters. It's dead. Aw.
Just like a couple pennies fall out. Or pesos. Probably pesos.
Why pesos?
I don't know.
You're right. Yeah. Inspector Gadget was set in Mexico. I forgot about that plot point.
Isn't it? Wasn't it?
I don't know.
What's another currency? Like Monopoly money?
Monopoly.
That's not very funny though.
No, I think Monopoly money's got a lot of value to it. What is just like bottle caps?
Bottle caps.
Mm-hmm.
That's Fallout.
No, that's fair.
Okay.
And then it's just a bunch of like sprockets and gears. Then they just like pop out of it and it starts smoking.
Okay, yeah.
And then his stupid little coat catches on fire. And then he's looking like a dumb little idiot running around. Meanwhile, the Haunting's over here making $33 million.
Wow.
Wow. Why are you saying that? Do you think Owen Wowson is in this movie?
Wow. Yeah, I already
Owen
said that.
Wowson.
We talked about it.
No, I know. I'm just saying that because he says wow so much.
It's funny though. In its second weekend, it finally fell down to fourth place with The Blair Witch Project and Deep Blue Sea coming out at the same time.
Interesting.
I always love seeing these movies that are like really big coming out at like the same time.
That's so strange. Yeah, these were like competing movies in the theater. Can you imagine
that
walking
makes
up
me
to the
very
theater?
curious about
You're sitting there
though.
like, oh man, I don't know. I've only got enough money for one ticket. Do I want to see the Blair Witch Project? Or there's the other one.
I mean, to put it in comparison, Blair Witch ended up with a box office of $250 million. Woo. So that's like the power of good publicity, right? Because Blair Witch, I mean, 90%
crazy
of it's
marketing for it.
Yeah, it was all its marketing about the people being scared.
Yeah, exactly. And like actually tricking people into thinking people were actually missing and they'd actually found stuff about it.
But Deep Blue Sea is also pretty revered. And that made $165 million. This movie made more money than that.
Is that a shark movie?
Yeah, it's scary.
It's a scary
It's a horror
movie. Is it?
I think bad enough.
Any movie that's got a shark in it should be considered a horror movie because sharks be scary sometimes.
Yeah, you ever see Ghost Shark?
Ghost Shark? No. What's that one about?
You've actually seen that movie. We watched it, I think episode 5.
Oh, really?
44 episodes ago.
Oh, yeah. You mean the one where a little kid runs into a slip and slide and a shark comes out the other end of it? That movie was bonkers.
The movie was bonkers.
But fun. It's not a bad movie.
Fun with
no
friends.
bad movies.
No bad movies. I think every movie can have a redeeming factor.
I think every movie's got something to like.
Let me tell you.
Except an American Werewolf in
No,
Paris.
that's where I was going.
I knew you were going there is the problem.
There's a scene in American Werewolf in Paris. I don't know if you've seen it before. We only talk about it every single episode. There's a scene in that movie.
You're talking about the soup.
Where
don't talk about the soup
guys
again.
Eating soup.
Don't talk about the soup again.
Guy who tries to blow up a condom like a balloon and it flies through the air. And
oh
lands
my
in
gosh!
the soup. Do you remember that?
Yeah, he tries to eat it like it's gum.
Do you remember the part of that movie where the lady walks out with a giant cross and gets shot a bunch?
Oh yeah,
like a cop.
Yeah. I specifically remember like they walk out like still with a cross on their back. That was that. Let's not talk about that movie.
Why not? This movie was glorious.
No, we got to talk about the Haunting.
You've got posters all over your walls.
Yep.
And no American Werewolf in Paris.
Yep, that's okay. I think it got lost in the mail. Actually, I know I told you I ordered that for you forever ago, but teacher Werewolf ate my homework. So
Werewolf ate my homework. I almost started telling facts about Blair Witch Project.
No, if only. We could talk about that on another podcast. That was greatable.
Is that what you think about Blair Witch? You think it was great?
That was a pretty good movie. It's classic. It started its own genre. You know.
So this movie had 14 nominations and 4 wins.
Wow, that's actually a lot for the podcast or the movies on our podcast.
It's pretty substantial.
Podcast on our movie.
Podcast on our movie, huh?
The podcast on our movie.
Mm-hmm. What does that mean?
Nothing. So what were these nominations?
Yeah, so the Blockbuster Entertainment Awards nominated Catherine Zeta-Jones, Liam Neeson, Lily Taylor, and Owen Wilson for favorite actors.
So pretty much the entire principal cast. It
The
was really only
entire
the four.
principal cast.
Yeah, only the four of
But
them.
they were only nominated.
No winners
Someone,
there, huh?
I think some of their budget went to paying the Blockbuster Entertainment Awards to...
Probably. They said, hey, here's some hush money. Nominate our people, please. We need this publicity.
But the BMI Film and TV Awards gave this the BMI Film Music Award.
Oh, okay.
For 2000 for Jerry Goldsmith.
Oh, Jerry.
What else has Jerry Goldsmith done? Do you know anything about
Jerry.
Jerry!
No, I have no idea what this person has done.
Oh, dude, he's done a lot. He's done Congo. He did Star Trek First Contact. He did LA Confidential.
Right, yeah.
He's done a lot of TV shows. Oh my
Okay.
God. He did a bunch of Land Before Time, dude.
Oh, really?
Wait, what?
That's actually kind of cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Derek, how did the music in this movie make you feel?
Like I was watching Lord of the Rings.
A little
I would like
bit.
look away and then look back and it wasn't Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, like, are we watching Lord of the Rings? I forget.
Like,
because
why is-
it felt like
who
it.
got Owen Wilson in my Lord of the Rings? I'd watch
Hey,
it.
hold on. I got some Owen Wilson in my Lord of the Rings. I was looking for Orlando Bloom.
Wow, they're taking the,
The
hobbits to Isengard.
Yeah, you knew. You knew exactly where I was going with that. Wow.
Wow, he's got the ring. Wow.
You almost sound like Peter Griffin.
Wow, Peter Lois.
Oh, freaking sweet.
Freaking sweet. I cannot for the life of me do Peter Griffin. I know we've talked about it on this podcast.
It is the
before.
one that eludes us, and I don't know why.
I can't.
No.
I can't even do Peter. I can't even do Lois.
No,
What
no.
was that? That wasn't a voice.
It was scary.
That was nothing.
It was terrifying.
It was a little scary. This guy also did the music for the Flim Flam Man, just so you know.
Of course. famous movie, The Flim Flam Man.
Never heard of that.
Hold
in my
on.
life.
Just look in. What the hell is that? What the hell is the
I
Flim
looked
Flam
it up.
Man?
Let's look at what the Flim
I
Flam
gotta know what this is
A
about. And I really
rural
hope it's
con
funny.
artist and an army deserter cheat the townsfolk and are aided by a rich gal who shields the fleeing duo from the wrath of a pursuing sheriff. Wham bam, the Flim Flam Man. That is literally what it says.
Not very funny though, is it?
No, it's not very.
Damn, I was really hoping for something
From
great there.
1967, and comedy was different.
Yeah, no, nothing was funny until 1968, unfortunately.
When did Abbott and Costello come out?
They came out as a couple in 1968. I want to say.
Can you imagine? I would actually love that.
Yeah, let's go. That's what I'm
Wait,
gonna do.
were they brothers?
Everyone, maybe. Maybe, I don't know. Were they? No, couldn't be.
Oh no, because Abbott is their last.
Their last names, right? Yeah. They're brothers with different last names. No, everyone's like, if I had a time machine, I'd go back and stop this tragic event. I'm like, no, I'd go back in time and see if Lou Costello and Bud Abbott were lovers.
I know where I got confused. Actually, Pat Costello wrote a bunch of this stuff, and he was Lou Costello's brother.
Ah, there it is.
So-
The secret brother, Pat. They got a hidden Pat. We got a hidden Pat in the back. We keep him back locked out. He's not allowed on the stage.
Why haven't we watched any Abbott and Costello for the podcast?
For the podcast, probably because Abbott and Costello kick ass. They're funny guys.
They're
very funny guys. You know,
we are terrible.
Are we?
Just in general.
You're right.
Wow.
Do we still have more nominations to get through? Oh, man.
I don't know why. That's the funniest thing.
Wow. They're taking the hobbits to Isengard.
Wow. Okay, you know how there's a bunch of internet memes?
Is that where they keep the memes?
Yeah, that's right on the little internet. So, you know, in the YouTubes,
yeah.
You're familiar. How sometimes they'll like supercut someone in. Like there was one of Frank Reynolds from Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
In The Last of Us?
Yeah.
Those are so good.
Yeah.
Some people put work into those, and it's impressive.
I'm going to learn how to do that, and I'm going to put Owen Wilson into Lord of the Rings.
That's
because I
good.
just imagine the fireworks going off in Fellowship, and like he's just sitting there, wow. And then like you watch what's his face get shot by all those arrows.
Yeah, no.
What's his face? I'm gonna get destroyed.
No,
by
yeah.
the wife later.
Your lovely
forget
wife
that.
Emily is gonna kill you if you say that. What about when they're hiding behind the tree? From what are they hiding from? The Nazgûls?
Yeah, the Nazgûl.
Yeah, from they're hiding. See, I know shit. I know stuff. I watched Lord of the Rings.
I've watched it more than you, and I
only
can't
just
remember
recently.
his name right now, and it's really bothering me.
But when they're hiding from the Nazgûls, he's sitting there. He's like, wow, this is scary.
Wow.
Yeah, everyone's like shushing each other, and it's all super quiet and tense. And he just goes, wow. And everyone looks at him, and then he dies. And then Owen Wilson gets killed by a Nazgûl.
We'll find a cut of him saying "friend," and then when they speak "friend" and enter,
Yeah.
wow, friend.
Wow, friend.
I can't do Owen Wilson's voice.
It's too much of one thing and it's something else. You know, it's hard.
It's
a
like
hard
if
needle
Winnie
to
the
thread.
Pooh and Peter Griffin had an Owen Wilson.
Could it kill God?
Could it though? Is that
Owen the Pooh?
Owen the Pooh.
Winnie the Wilson?
Winnie the Wilson.
Winnie the Wilson ain't bad.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yep.
Winnie
Christopher Robin.
Wow. Are you depressed, Winnie?
I wish I knew more about Owen Wilson other than the fact that he says wow. That's all I've got to give this character right now.
There was that movie he was in with Jackie Chan that I really
Around the
liked.
World in 80 Days, right?
Okay, well, not that one. The other one.
Another one?
Yeah. He was in
They were in 2 movies?
They were in like 3 movies together. It
For
was
real?
Yeah.
Famous duo, Jackie Chan and Owen Wilson. You think
Hold
they
on,
still
I'm
talk?
Googling
You
it.
think they're still buddies?
Probably.
I would love to know that.
Well, I think Jackie Chan got fed up because Owen Wilson would never do his own stunts, and Jackie Chan would always do his
And
own
he was like,
stunts.
he's like, you're a coward. Look at me. I'm Jackie Chan. Look at me. Quah, I kicked this thing. I did it without even flinching because I'm Jackie Chan. And you're Owen Wilson, and all you want to do is say wow at everything. You're a chump, and I can't work with you anymore.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I'm Jackie Chan. Did I mention that I'm Jackie Chan?
Wow.
And that's all he can, but he's like crying when he's like, wow, wow,
Wow.
wow,
Wow. Wow, that hurts. Wow.
wow, my heart, it hurts. Wow.
Hey, hold on. I'm going to find it soon.
One day. You've gone about this the absolutely most difficult way you could have.
Okay, our new sitting arrangement allows you to say, look over my shoulder and tell me what I'm doing.
Your
wrong.
screen was always right next
Shanghai
to me
Noon.
anyway. Shanghai Noon. I've never heard of her.
Yeah, and there's a second one, Shanghai Nights. Yeah,
Shanghai 1 o'clock.
I remember in Shanghai Nights, there was a scene where Owen Wilson was in a bathtub and a girl came up and was like touching him while he was in the bathtub.
Whoa.
And my mom was always very, very upset when that scene came on.
I mean, yeah.
But we watched that movie a lot.
Really? So despite that, she still couldn't stop watching. She's like, I gotta watch Owen Wilson get felt up in the tub again.
Wow.
Watch that with my
I actually, no joke, think he says wow while he's in the tub.
If there has ever been a moment for the man to say wow, it's gotta be when he's in the tub and some lady's touching him, right? There's never been a better moment for him to say wow.
Owen Wilson has said the word wow in 27 different movies.
There's no way it's that low. I feel like it's gotta be higher.
Yeah, but like
than
think
that.
about 27 movies. How many movies does this man have in his
That's like
career?
half of our podcast, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair. Does it have an estimation on how many times he said the word though?
He has been in 87 movies.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
So we're talking like more than like a fourth of his career.
There are only 60 movies in which he has not said wow,
That's incredible.
which means that the 27 he has said wow, they stand out, man.
And I wonder, and we talked about this when we were watching the movie too, because guess what? In this one, he says, wow. Do they write this in for him? Like when he is cast in a movie, they're like, let's add a wow to this. Or is it all him? Is he, so like who is doing it at this point? Because I'm sure he probably started it by like adding a wow here and there. It got iconic. And then like, do they add it though? Do they add it themselves? Or is he throwing it in there? You got some for me?
I found it.
You found it?
I found it. He's been interviewed about it.
Oh, really?
So yeah, so they do write it in for him sometimes.
Really?
But he actually adds it in here and there, and he has specifically developed the way he says it with his mouth.
What?
This is from Screen Rant.
So
Owen
he-
Wilson actually talked about it. He has said,
he knows. He is very well aware of this.
as of this article in June 24th of 2022, he had just take a guess at how many times he said wow. in
like 220.
movies. Oh, okay, that's way too high.
Too high shit.
But think about it, 27 movies.
Yeah.
How many times in a movie do you have to say wow?
I guess that's
like
fair.
in the average movie, if you're not talking about like, I don't know, watching like a jester or something. Like in the average movie, how many times do you think you need to say the word wow?
Not that many times.
Right? 81.
81?
So that means on average, he says it about 3 or 4 times
That's
per movie.
hilarious to me. I can't believe he actually like talked
like what-
about this though.
It's like 2.8 something.
Yeah.
Math.
Yeah, we can do the math.
Girl math
Let's
tells
math
me-
this. Derek learned the term girl math and he's been using it all the time. It's great.
My point is,
Yes.
My point is he has said it a lot.
Yeah. And so, like, it's really funny to me because I played out this little scenario in my head where it's like, does Owen Wilson like get a script and it says, "Wow"? He's like, "Oh, God, guys, I can't. I'm reformed. I can't do this anymore."
Hey, will you wait
please."
1 second? Ready?
Yeah. Oh. Whoa! Gosh, that was so big. You splashed it onto your laptop.
Oh, shoot. I opened a soda. If you quit here.
He opened a drink. He gripped it and he ripped it.
What are you drinking today, Isaac?
Me, I'm drinking a Celsius, I think. Not sponsored by Celsius. I would drink a Celsius.
drinking a Celsius.
Look at that.
Live Fit Peach Vibe, not sponsored.
My Not sponsor. Product placement now. Now we put a camera in front of ourselves and now we're like, let's talk about Celsius. This week's sponsor, Celsius.
Wait, don't say we're sponsored.
No, we can't. We're not sponsored by Celsius.
We're
Not sponsored by Celsius. Not sponsored by anybody.
Here, I'll give it to Science.
Nobody wouldn't sponsor us.
Science.
I'm sad about it. You got more info about this movie?
Yeah, actually, I didn't even get through all that.
I was like, we probably have a lot more. We haven't even talked about like what it's rated yet.
Because we've talked about Owen Wilson
more than we've
almost
talked
as
about
much
Garfield.
Oh shoot! Wait, hold on. Okay, you can talk about Garfield now.
Okay, cool. How about them Mondays, huh?
Wow, John. Wow, those funny.
Okay, now hold on. A much better idea.
Yeah.
You know,
Get Chris Pratt out of
Bill
here.
Murray's out.
Why not?
He's been here and he done that. And then Chris Pratt, he's also out because why is he here in the first place? Owen Wilson.
Wow, he's out.
Owen Wilson can be here.
Wow, Jackie Chan. What are you doing as Odie?
No, hold on. So now it's this awesome like buddy cop movie where it's like it's Garfield played by Owen Wilson, but like regular Jackie Chan.
How did you know that Shanghai Noon was a buddy cop movie if you've never seen it?
I did? Well, because
I got you. I got you
the
red-handed.
No,
I got you
no,
red-handed.
it's not true. They very much fit the vibe of two people who would be in a buddy cop movie. But imagine, buddy cop movie, it can be animated or not. I don't really care. Buddy cop movie, animated Garfield, animated regular Jackie Chan, played by Jackie Chan.
Okay.
Or Jackie Chan, played by Chris Pratt.
Or Jackie...
That's terrible. No, don't make that. Stop putting him in movies, please.
Well, why not have... I think Chris Pratt just needs to play everyone now.
Yeah.
Right? So you have a remake of Garfield where Chris Pratt plays every character.
Okay.
But then every character is played by a different actor at the same time, right?
Okay.
So you have Jackie Chan playing Odie,
yes.
but it's
Chris Pratt
playing Jackie Chan playing Odie, right? And then you've got Jerry
nonsense.
Seinfeld playing John, and you have Chris Pratt voicing him. So you have Jerry Seinfeld, live action Jerry Seinfeld,
but he opens his mouth and Chris Pratt's voice comes out of it. And then I'm still on for Matt Berry playing Garfield.
Yes,
but same situation, right?
But
he opens his mouth as Chris Pratt.
But this one, it's actually I hate myself. So you've got Chris Pratt doing the voice of Owen Wilson, doing the voice of Matt Berry, doing the voice of Garfield.
Oh God, it's got so many layers. It just keeps going.
Like lasagna.
It's got layers like lasagna. Oh, that's it.
And we segued back to The Haunting 1989.
No, it's not. Also, can we just real quick before we hop off the Garfield train, because I'm sure we're off of our 5-minute train.
And just like you said would happen, I lost track.
Yeah, exactly. Matt Berry as Garfield the cat, he can say cat. Yeah, that's it. Okay,
that's
Garfield's done. It's in the past. Owen Wilson, he's in the past, except he's not because he's in this movie. We should probably talk about him some more.
We'll talk about him a little bit more. The Bogey Awards in 1999 gave this the winner.
We've never talked about this. The Bogey is bad, right?
Yeah, Bogey is very bad.
Okay. I also don't know. That's a golf thing, right?
Yeah.
I don't know golf, but apparently you do. You're a golf guy. Yeah, that's right.
I'm giving you a scowl.
Your silence speaks 1,000 words. Derek likes golf.
So when you go golfing, okay, so let's give you a little golf lesson.
Yeah, I've always just thought about like bogey sounds like boogie, and boogies is bad.
So every time you go on a hole, shut up. So every time you go golfing.
Yeah, I love to go in holes all the time. You know me going in holes. He's going to hit me. He wants to hit me. It was so close.
Okay.
I saw my life flash before my eyes as Derek's hand flittered towards me.
So you got to golf, right? Every time you go on the golf course, you stroke a bunch.
You are not. Every sentence you utter gets worse and worse. You know when you go into a hole and you stroke a bunch and you get boogies.
And sometimes you miss.
Still bad.
God damn it. How do you explain golf when it's not sexual? I don't think you can.
Golf is officially the gayest sport.
Oh my gosh. Everyone should golf. More gay.
Yep. Which is funny because I feel like the most homophobic men all play golf.
That's really, the most accurate thing.
Really goes to show you something. That really makes you think. Anyway, tell me about your sport. Tell me more about golf.
All right. So anyway, say you're going mini golf, right?
Okay.
You're going putting.
Yeah.
Because I'll just explain mini golf because it's easier to understand.
Okay.
Same rules.
Same rules apply.
So you got the long stretch of the grass, right? The green. And on the other end, you see the hole. You got to get your ball into the hole. Every time you hit your ball, it counts as one stroke. Right. Each course has a set amount of Why am I explaining?
I know you're going so deep into golf now. This is an educational podcast.
Every time, every hole has a certain amount of strokes it should take to get into the hole.
Yep.
Okay, so like 2, for example, that's called the par.
Sounds good.
right? The par is 2, so you want to beat that. You want to make it in 1 stroke.
Yeah, exactly.
Or 0 strokes. That's impossible. So
He's like, look at me. Now look at the ball. Now look back at me. The ball is gone. It's in the hole. 0 stroke game.
go gay.
Yay, go gay.
Yeah, you gay. So every time you stroke over the par, so like if it took me 3 but it only called for 2, that's a bogey.
And what decides how many is called for it?
The guy who did it.
The guy who did it. The guy who did really good at it says, I did it in 2, so you should be able to do it
It's
in
actually
2.
Garfield. Garfield.
No, I'm sorry. I think you mean Golf Field.
Yeah, Garfield.
It's his cousin.
Garfield, Return to the Clubs.
Oh my God, that's pretty good.
Anyway, so a bogey is bad. It means you missed it.
Yes,
right? You
exactly.
missed the mark.
So the Bogey Awards.
Yes.
Yes. We haven't even made it through the 14 nominations for this movie.
Oh, that's true. Basically, it actually means Box Office Germany Award.
Uh-huh.
I just learned this.
But Box Office...
But it's specifically bad.
Box Office Germany Award. It's the Box Office Germany Awards.
What do you mean?
Because Box Office Germany, that'd be Boger. Boger. Boger.
Hey.
So if it's Bogey, it's Bo Germany.
There's a Y at the end of Germany, dog.
No, yeah, but it's Gey.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not just called J.
Germany.
So, yeah,
I get it.
Because, see, if it's broken up like that. So anyway, the Box Office Germany Awards.
Well, would you prefer it's actually derived from Humphrey Bogart? Does that make you feel better?
That's better, honestly. I like that. I like that more a little bit. So I didn't even know that was a German award festival, actually.
Yeah, I didn't either until right
So
now.
what was it nominated for?
It was just nominated for the Bogey Award.
Oh,
it
the
was
biggin.
the bad movie of the year. Right?
Yikes.
Sorry, the Bogey movie of the year.
It's the most
And not only was it nominated,
it
it won. It won that.
It won. It wins that one.
And the Razzies are basically the same thing as the Bogey Awards, but for America.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
they're the bad movie, the Razzie.
The
movie.
Razzie.
We've talked about Razzies a lot. It was nominated at the Razzies, the 2000 Razzies, for Worst Picture, for Worst Actress for Catherine Zeta-Jones, for Worst Screen Couple for Lily Taylor and Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Interesting.
And Worst Director for Jean Debon, and
Jean Debon.
Worst Screenplay for David Self. He's just hating on himself.
But he wrote it all by himself.
Yeah, those are all nominations, though. I'm curious what won over them that year.
Yeah, exactly. Who are the winners of that?
Fangoria Chainsaw Awards for
Yeah.
2000. This won the worst film of the year. So let's hold on.
I'm always so curious. We should start doing that. Like when when it's a nominate for these things, like what are the winners for these years, And Derek's looking it up, and I'm gonna do a little bit of improv. Hey, how about them Mondays?
How's that going?
I got nothing. You're the improv guy. Why are you looking this up?
It's fun. Oh goodness. Okay, yeah. Wild Wild West won Worst Picture over The Haunting.
Oh, okay. I don't know why my brain told me it was only other horror movies.
I mean, I definitely thought that too, but I think the reason that you thought that was, oh my God, Blair Witch Project was also nominated for Worst Picture that year.
Really?
For Worst Picture.
That's
People love that
surprising,
movie.
yeah.
So was Star Wars The Phantom Menace.
Are we sure?
Oh, people hated
I mean,
Phantom
I guess
Menace.
that's fair.
Have
yeah.
you
People,
seen those videos
people
of
were not happy about it?
Like getting interviewed after seeing the movie?
No, what did they say?
Oh, they are pissed.
Oh,
so like
no.
half of the people are pissed and the other half are like, I loved it. Yeah,
it was so good. Yeah.
It's very weird to watch, especially because it's like looking at a time capsule from 24 years
Really
ago.
though, those things are so strange to see though. That life, that time period,
That life.
that life we don't live.
So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Catherine Zeta-Jones actually was nominated twice this year for Worst Actress.
The poor girl. What was her other one?
Entrapment and The Haunting. Entrapment sucked.
Yeah,
so it makes sense.
Did she win? Did she win that one?
No, Heather Donahue from the Blair Witch Project won.
Jeez. Gosh.
Oh my God. Jar Jar Binks won Worst won worst supporting actor that year.
That's so funny.
Ahmed Best.
People hated him so much. Goodness.
So anyway,
I still don't like.
it.
I feel so bad for people that win awards like that. I'm like, I don't know how you show your face again after winning an award like that.
Do you get a trophy?
I want, like, you have to, right?
Trophy.
At the very least, if we're gonna like mock you, we should get like a trophy for such a thing.
Oh yeah,
because
it's a Golden Raspberry Award.
Wow, we should 3D print a Golden Razzie Award.
We really should
for the best bad movie we've seen this year. Except there's no bad movies.
That's true.
There's 0 bad movies. There's never been a bad
Why did
movie.
we say that? Because now we're cursed.
Yeah, I know. Now we're stuck.
I'm
we have to
almost
commit
through
to that.
these. I'm real close.
There
Online
are so
Film and
many.
Television Association gave this nominated for Best Sound Mixing and Best Visual Effects. The Stinkers Bad Movies Award gave Worst Sense of Direction.
Wow.
That's rough.
I've never seen that one before.
The tagline for that award is "Stop them before they direct again."
Yikes.
Oh my god. Good thing they didn't
hurts.
stop him because he went on to make some good stuff.
That's fair, yeah.
Worst screenplay for a film grossing more than 100 million using Hollywood math.
Using Hollywood math.
That's the whole name.
There's
of
girl
it.
math and then there's Hollywood math, and they are vastly different things.
It did win at the Stinkers Worst Remake,
Oh,
which checks out.
yeah,
and then
because the original is sitting a lot higher, right, as far as like Rotten Tomatoes.
I think it's in like the 60s, so people did like that movie a lot. And then it was nominated for least special effects.
Yeah.
Which segue into special effects. Phil Tippett was brought on to do the final cut of special effects for this movie,
Which is wild.
So if you don't know who Phil Tippett is, well, Phil Tippett. I always put an S.
Singular.
I put
Phil
an S at the
Tippett.
end. He did the Star Wars movies. He did Jurassic Park. He did RoboCop.
He specifically
just
done
came
a
out
lot
with
of
Mad
like,
God.
Yeah, he like specializes in stop motion kind of stuff, right?
Which this movie did not have a lot of, but
Which is why I was surprised to hear that he was a part of it.
But, I think I could see the things that he probably worked on, right? Like, there's stuff with the architecture that we'll get into later that I actually really enjoyed. So, well, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, we'll get into
So,
that.
The Haunting is 17% on Rotten Tomatoes.
17% from the critics.
Audience is sitting at 28. Letterboxd is at 2.3, and IMDb is at 5.0.
Oof.
Man,
It's not so high.
I think that's an award for us.
For how long it's
it took
taken us to actually start the movie.
Well, no, we've taken longer for that. But what we haven't taken this long for is to get through all of the information in the beginning.
Yeah, it took us some time this time.
There's a lot to talk
we
about.
got camera shy. There's a camera in front of us
Oh
now.
my gosh,
what do you
I
want me to
forgot.
do?
Let me drink more of my Celsius. Thanks, Science Jim.
So shall we get into the critic reviews
Let's do
for the Haunting? Should we start with the critic consensus?
Sure.
Okay,
Is there
so
one?
So the critics' consensus, no audience consensus, but the critics say it is sophisticated visual effects fail to offset awkward performances and an uneven script is the consensus from the peoples.
Rough.
It's sitting here with 85 rotten reviews, only 17 fresh ones.
I mean, that checks out.
Yeah. So
that is about 100 reviews and 17%, so it checks out.
So we'll start with Eddie Harrison from filmauthority.com with a positive review says a good/bad movie that contains the ruins of an interesting film.
Oof. Antonia Quirky from Independent on Sunday says none of the frights or special effects is any great shakes.
Rotten review from David Anson of Newsweek says a ghost has to work overtime to haunt Hill House. The best that money can buy technology of The Haunting shows how little you can make of too much.
Oof. Wesley Lovell of Cinema Site has a positive review.
Is that Wesley?
Oh,
Wesley. There it is. I don't know. For some reason, I thought it was like the name Leslie, but you said it with a W, like Wesley. I love Wesley. Anyway, go.
It is better than average film for the summer, but not one that's going to find any non-technical Oscars on its shelf.
Yeah, that's fair.
Ooh.
So, expectations?
Yeah, dude.
Expectations? We got some? You got some?
I got some.
Shall we talk about them?
I think we should.
Might as well. We're on the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm not doing anything else. You want to talk about our expectations?
Yeah. I mean, we
sure.
should talk about Garfield more, but we're past our quota.
Well, yeah. So generally, I was thinking, I was going into this neither excited nor dreading it. I was like, this will be a movie. I will finish it, and we'll see how I come out on the other side of it.
Yeah.
So I really didn't have a lot of pre-made thoughts about it.
Yeah. For me, it was I'll have a bored time.
You'll have a bored time?
I felt like this movie would bore me to death.
You picked it.
I know. Well, no, my sister-in-law picked it.
That's fair.
But then watching the trailer, I was like, this is going to be boring as hell.
Yeah. So my first expectation went along with actually what the critics said, like a sophisticated sets that remind me of a Guillermo del Toro in some ways.
Oh, okay.
There's just something about the set pictures that I was looking at, like just the general atmosphere and vibe of it, the grandiose nature of it, the gothic architecture. I was like, this really seems like something that he would enjoy and put his hands on.
I feel that. Some horrible CGI is what I was expecting.
I said A-list actors giving some D-list performances.
You're kidding me.
Because that's what Derek said. Yeah, that I completely ripped that from you because you said that out loud.
D-tier performances from A-tier actors.
Exactly, yeah. Just because.
I just like that we lined up on the same one.
I said little scare factor. Wasn't expecting to walk away from this one feeling any kind of chill or fear at all, really.
Really forced jump scares, my next one.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good one. I said some very questionable uses of CGI along, same deal with you.
Some cringeworthy music.
Ew, yeah. And then my final expectation is a very dull / dragging start. I just it felt like one of those movies where it's going to be so much about the people and what the situation they're in, their relationships with each other, how they get to the place before anything even actually happens.
Yeah. I felt like that I would have a desperate need to watch the original to get context for this.
I do kind of want to. I will say,
too.
without giving my general opinion about the movie after the fact, I do kind of want to watch the original, see where that goes.
I think that might also stem from our love of the early horror, because that is from like the 60s.
Yeah, it's from like 1963, I think.
Yeah,
and it seems like it's good. It looks like a fun time. It does. But hard to compare the two. One is from the 60s. So this movie,
I'm gonna dive in.
It's time to get in here. There's no music to actually start us out. There's just this eerie ambiance panning over the city, and then the title, right? So there's some issues going on with this girl, like her mom's will, I guess, and she's being kicked out of her apartment where she was staying with her mom and like taking care of her. She was like an invalid, and she had to like help her out and such.
She's basically her hospice nurse.
Yeah, and so her sister is now owns the place, and she's trying to kick Eleanor out because she hasn't been paying rent. She's like, we're kicking you out because we want to sell the place, right? And Eleanor's like, you can't do that, please. Like, I have nowhere else to go. You can't. And she gets mad and kicks her out, and nothing else really happens about that. I wrote, the music is very pretty, but weirdly feels like it belongs in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, we actually riffed on this for a while because there was a lot of weird, it felt like Bag End, right?
Yeah,
where it was just like that flute.
It just made us laugh. We're like, I cannot believe the music is very good. It just felt like it was in the wrong place in the wrong movie. So props to you, Jerry. Was it Jerry? Jerry, someone made the music. This is beautiful music. Oh wow. Oh, I'm in Bag End. Wow. Look, all my Hobbit friends are here. No, God, wish they would wear shoes. But then, like, how are you going to get enough leather to cover them feet? They're so big.
Wow, this is the farthest.
No, Owen Wilson can't be back in there. So Eleanor's an insomniac, and she gets a call to be a research subject in a study on insomnia.
Can we just mention real quick?
Yeah.
At this point, everything that just happened in the movie is gone forever.
Yeah. None of it ever matters again.
None of it ever comes back.
No.
She picks up a necklace that her mom had and puts it on, and then nothing happens with that ever.
You see like her mom's cane on the bed. And that's really all you need to know about the mother. That's the brother and sister. They're gone.
They're gone.
Don't ever think about them again.
It was like they weren't even in the movie. They were just like, last second, wait, we need to give her motivation for something.
Exactly. It's like, what reason can we have to make this girl desperate enough to join a study about insomnia?
And then some random person calls her.
Yeah. And they're like, hey, open up the newspaper. It's like, it's got the same vibe as like, look out the window right now. And like, there's something outside. Except look at the newspaper. It's like, how do you know I even have a newspaper right now? So it's paying her like $900 a week. So she's like, oh, hell yeah.
That's a good amount of money.
Yeah, totally.
I'd take that much money.
Yeah. Oh, we found out her mother died like 2 months ago. Again, not super, super important. But Liam Neeson, I wanted to say it our stupid way. Liam Neeson is here. He's the doctor conducting this study, and he's conducting it at Hill House. Which, Derek, why does that name sound familiar?
Well, maybe because of the famous Netflix show, The Haunting of Hill House.
Or the Science Jim telling us about this?
Oh my God, I have Science Jim next to me now.
It's weird.
I invoke him?
Invoke him. Bring him out. Bring him to life. Oh God, I hated that.
Ew, what's wrong with your mouth? Oh, I got it around his scalp.
Ew, yuck.
Hey, it's me, Science Jim.
Oh, hello. Every time, I'm sorry. I don't mean to mock you.
Freaking douchebag.
Your voice is just so fun. I'm sorry. I can't.
What are we gonna do with this guy? I don't know, Science Jim. What are we gonna do about this guy?
You're gonna tell me about The Haunting of Hill House? Is that right?
Yeah. So Derek's favorite TV show ever, basically, is The Hill House. What are you doing?
I'm helping you prove your point with your hand.
Should be. That's basically all I had to say. There was also an old movie called The Hill House with Vincent Price.
Yes, yeah, House on Haunted Hill. I want to say
that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's like a trope now.
What's a trope now?
The Hill House.
The Hill House, haunted house on a hill. Yeah, that whole trope is
There's probably more to it, but I did do research.
I want to say the Shirley Jackson novel was called The Haunting of Hill House.
I'd look it up, but I only have one hand.
one puppet. What do you mean? Puppet's got two hands. Type away, Science Jim. Tip tap tap tap. Oh, I really hope you can hear the sounds of him bashing into the keyboard.
Oh my god,
You've ruined him.
Okay, bye.
Yeah. So yeah, I you can look it up if you want. I'm fairly certain that the original novel by Shirley Jackson is called The Haunting of Hill House, and that's why Mike Flanagan's whole thing is just called that. There were reasons why this movie wasn't actually called that and just shortened to The Haunting. But so he's bringing these people he's bringing people in under false pretenses.
You're right.
Actually
Hey, you're right.
Hey, yeah, Shirley Jackson's The Haunting of Hill House. He's actually studying fear, not insomnia, and he's not going to tell them that. So he's trying to like elicit real reactions from them. He's like, I'm not going to tell them, otherwise it's not going to be like a thorough, like actually controlled environment for the study that I'm doing. So that's what he's doing. And I did right. I'm actually surprised. We're already at the manor. We've already made it to Hill House.
We got there so quick.
Within like 7 minutes, honestly.
Yeah.
It really took no time at all. I really thought it was going to take us longer.
I mean, that was under your expectations.
Music is very, very good. I'm loving it a lot.
Yeah,
so Eleanor comes up. She meets the caretaker, who happens to be Laura Dern's dad.
Did she pick up the rice outside the church?
Did she Eleanor, her last name's not Rigby.
Okay, you got my joke.
Yeah, I got you. You thought you were going to trick me.
I thought I was going to one up.
Thought you were going to trip me up. No.
Thought you were going to bring up Garfield.
No. Eleanor Garfield
picks up the rice in the church where Odie has been. Lives with a lasagna.
All of the lasagna.
Why do it all eat me? What?
The lasagna eats him? What song is this? Goodness me, this is a horror. We should write that movie.
Let's watch
No,
that
so
movie.
she meets the one of the caretakers at the mansion. It's Laura Dern's dad, surprisingly.
Yeah, Laura Dern's dad.
And he keeps the place under like big lock and chain. So like there's I thought the place was honestly abandoned. I'm like, is she even at the right place? Because she rolls up to the front. There's just a huge train wrapping the place up.
It was going.
And he goes on about how like he's like what is he? He says a weird line about it. Yeah, what's up?
I'm raising my hand right now.
You raising your hand?
I was looking up sentient lasagna.
Oh no.
Because I was very curious if it existed like a horror movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. What it does exist is as space lasagna from the homeworld of Parma. Body type lasagna-like.
What?
Height same as a small lasagna. Locomotion
but not the same as a big one.
No, shut up. You don't know. Sapience level sapient.
On a scale of
universe
non-sapient to sapient, it's sapient.
It's from Garfield.
Oh, I love that so much.
From the Garfield Show, season 1, episode 1, Pasta Wars. They come back in a couple other episodes
to do here. I can't.
Then there was a special called the Garfield Show, Threat of the Space Lasagna. Notes inexplicably they speak with Italian accents.
Of course they do.
Thank you.
We love the appropriation
Thank
there.
you, Garfield Wiki.
I can't believe we talked about tar and we didn't make a tar field joke. Oh my god. Let's roll it back. Lydia Tarfield, everybody.
So what if what's her name? Who plays Tar?
Kristen
Chenoweth.
Jim
It's
Carrey.
so close. Frank Sinatra.
Cryostasis.
Tammy Rothschild. Jim Carrey.
Oh, it's so close.
It's right there.
It's on the. I feel like I'm holding in a sneeze right now. Who is it? What's her name? Oh God, Derek, it's killing me.
Why can't I find it?
Oh no!
I can't look at Kate Blanchett.
Kate Blanchett.
Oh my God! And you blanch the noodles to make tarzania. Tarfield.
Tarfield makes Tarzania.
Tarzania. It's like a black, like tarry lasagna.
Yeah,
it's made with squid ink.
Yeah, that's what happens when John gets like creative with his lasagna. He's trying to find ways to make it healthier.
But when you get the pasta noodles, they're really hard, so you have to make sure to blanch it.
There it is. There it is. Round of applause for you.
Thank you. I'll be accepting awards.
So We've made it to the manor. We've made it this far. The interior sets for this house are gorgeous. The atmosphere, it does give you that Del Toro feel. It really does. So that expectation really came true. Eleanor runs into Mrs. Dudley, who is another one of the caretakers. So I guess there's Laura Dern's dad, and there's also Mrs. Dudley. And she starts to show her around. And she's a funny character, isn't she? She's so jaded to the lifestyle she lives. She talks about how she, quote, leaves before dark each night.
Hey, it's me, Scrippy Scripto.
Hey, Scrippy Scripto is here.
I don't have a puppet for Scrippy Scripto.
No, one day we'll make a Scrippy Scripto puppet.
Scrippy Scripto. Here's a copy of the script. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we have verbatim exactly what she said because it's
so
hilarious.
Funny. It's so funny, like how hard she beats the same point over your head. Will
you read the introduction line? The stage direction.
Okay. Mrs. Dudley peers at her a beat, and then cryptic.
It's a job. I keep banker's hours. I set dinner on the dining room sideboard at 6. You can serve yourself. Breakfast is ready at 9. I don't wait on people. I don't stay after dinner, not after it begins to get dark. I leave before dark comes. We live in town, 9 miles, so there won't be anyone around if you need help. We couldn't even hear you in the night. No one could. No one lives any nearer than down. No one will come any nearer than that. In the night. In the dark.
Like, why does she feel the need to mention so many times the dark and the night? Like, I get it.
In the dark.
I understand. Being here in the dark in the nighttime is a really bad time.
And that's just one section of it. There's actually multiple parts before that where she says it more.
She just keeps talking about it. Like, get it. Don't be here in the dark at nighttime.
Like, calm down.
Won't do it. I understand. So we meet her. She's a strange, funny character. But then Catherine Zeta-Jones is here.
Ugh.
Her character's name is Theo, and she's annoying.
She's awful.
She's a pain. She's all rich, material possessions, privilege, all of that stuff, right? Talking about her expensive bags.
Care. He doesn't even care about my girlfriend.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, I have a girlfriend, but my boyfriend hates her. Like, they're annoying. She's terrible. Just obnoxious. But what is really funny is she makes her way to her room, and then Mrs. Dudley gives her the exact same weird, cryptic spiel about the dark.
Hours. I set dinner on the dining room.
Exactly, just like that. But what is really funny...
I'm reading it, though. That is literally... she says the exact same thing. They copy and pasted it.
And what's really funny about that, though, is that Eleanor, who just barely heard this, starts repeating some of it with her.
I don't wait on people. I don't stay after
I don't stay after... And
not after it begins to get... I like to... Dark comes. We live in...
They've been saying... In the dark.
This is not.
In the night.
In the dark.
And it's really funny because she gives her this kind of cheeky smile where, like, I can't tell if she's annoyed by it or, like,
kind of seemed like they were, like, flirting with each other. It was super strange.
There's a lot of strange flirtation going on in this movie. But anyway, Theo is obnoxious, but her job is, like, artist. That's what she does. So anyway, they go to explore the house together.
Yeah.
And it's a really cool house.
Cool house.
There's this one shot that they never showed beyond this one scene, but there's one where they're walking down a hallway that has mirrors all along the wall, but there's this one cutout in the wall where they have these like threads coming down from the ceiling that give the illusion of mirrors there, but they have no reflection.
That was so dope.
And then they walk through it. Like, that's such a cool little thing because I was convinced it was a mirror, but there wasn't any reflection, so how could there be?
For real.
But I really liked it. They also go through this really cool little hallway that has water on the floor, and there's fake book like stepping stones.
Yeah, they had like turned wood into books that looked like
what
stones.
Is this place? This place kicks ass. I love it. And then they also run into, like, they open this one room that as soon as they open the door, a calliope starts playing and the room begins to spin.
It was like a little, what are those called with the horsies?
Carousel. Oh, yeah, like a carousel, like a carousel room, basically.
Okay, I got some shit to say about that.
Give me your shit. What you got?
What's the point of building a carousel in your house? Because like kids are gonna walk into it, they're gonna stand in there for a couple minutes and then leave immediately and never go back in there.
No, exactly. They're like, hey,
pointless.
Hey, cool, Dad. Thanks for building this for me. Bye.
It's like, okay,
I'm gonna go play Grand Theft Auto.
Nice.
So then, as they're running through the house, they run into Owen Wilson, whose name is Luke Sanderson.
Wow.
He's an interesting character to start out with. He starts trying to, like, psychoanalyze them immediately, and that's kind of...
So
he's just kind of a weird know-it-all. His only characteristic is calling out the obvious. He's basically Captain Obvious in this movie.
The entire movie, like something will be falling or something. He's like, that's going to fall right there.
Yeah, like, as it's happening, we're like, yeah.
The entire movie.
Yeah, Owen, we get it. Wow, you're telling us all about the movie.
You're so smart.
What if someone bullied him with that? Wow, you're so great. Wow. Wow.
I pronounce it wow.
Wow.
I pronounce
Say it again. Say it again, little weirdo. Wow. Weirdo, more like wowdo.
Oh my God, wait. Maybe
and then Waldo shows up. And
no,
you're like,
hold on.
Not you.
Maybe it's a nervous tick from his childhood, and that is his trauma.
Oh, no.
Maybe he was a kid, and he got bullied about saying wow.
Yeah.
And they
so now he's stuck.
Say
it,
Owen. Wow. Say wowin. Wowin.
Wow.
Maybe he couldn't say Owen, and he said wowin.
Oh, that's wait. Why is it cute now, but also more sad?
Yeah, they're like wowin. Wow.
Tragic backstory for Wowin Wilson.
Oh my God.
So
Owen,
we meet Owen Wilson. Not a lot with him. Pretty quick after we meet him, we meet Liam Neeson's character, who is Dr. Marrow, is his name, and he has two assistants. One of which is the director of not Tarfield, but Tar is the one we were looking for.
Todd
Tarfield.
Todd Tarfield.
So they meet up. The performances are feeling so awkward so far. There have been numerous moments where there's just like awkward pauses between lines where I'm like, this could have been clipped a little bit better, I think.
It really could have. The editing in this movie was atrocious.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, they have a dinner. They're talking about their insomnia and their feelings about it. Eleanor goes into a big rant about how she's like, well, you guys live really exciting lives, and that's why you can't sleep, because you go to bed thinking about it. My life isn't exciting. I have trouble sleeping because my mom would wake up in the middle of the night and bang on the walls with her cane. Even though she's dead, I still hear it. Like, it's like, okay, cool.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's fun.
Thanks for that, Eleanor. Also, throughout the whole thing, she goes by Nell sometimes. She's like, yeah, I'm Eleanor, but you can call me Nell, which is like, where does Nell come from, Eleanor? Because it's not Ellenell and it's not Nellanor. So where does that come from?
Elna.
Either way.
Elna.
So Dr. Marrow, Liam Neeson, gives them like tests to take through the whole thing. Like, he's like, yeah, we're gonna like psychoanalyze you through these tests. And it's like, okay, cool, awesome, we have homework to do now.
Yay.
Which I guess makes sense for a insomnia study.
We only see the tests a couple of times, but they're just like little mazes.
I thought they would come in handy or do something. They never serve a purpose.
But it's literally just like these little mazes.
Yeah, exactly. It's just for Liam Neeson's character to get information on them, I think. But then he talks about like how they can't go to town, they can't use TV or telephone, so they're basically stuck in here. Luke says, what's with the Addams Family mansion? Which is funny considering Catherine Zeta-Jones did play Morticia in Wednesday just like last year. It's so funny. Derek's done this great thing that I love a lot where he pretends to laugh. And I love it so much, and it doesn't make me furious all the time. It doesn't make me hate him very, very much.
It's a real laugh. I'm laughing.
He's faking it. I'm moving on.
No, this is real.
So Marrow talks about how the old owner of the house, Crane, lost his wife and his children, but he kept building and building on this house despite having no one to fill the house with. It's got like kind of like a Winchester Manor kind of feel where she just like kept building and expanding upon this one house, even though there was no purpose to it. And that's basically the story about it. But then Marrow's assistant, Mary, starts freaking out about how the house feels wrong. There's something here. And she goes over to this harpsichord. And we were watching as, without anybody touching it, one of the strings on the harpsichord starts to tighten. And so as she walks over to it, the string snaps and slashes her in the face. It almost takes her eye out.
It really does.
Which is like
kind of a gory little cut.
Which is the number one fear anyone has if you've ever like tuned the strings on a stringed instrument.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's always the scariest thing to me. Yeah,
and then it just happened.
And then it just happened. Fortunately, it didn't take her eye out, but it like slashed her again. Yeah, you're right. Pretty gory over her eye socket.
And then they're not in the movie
exactly.
anymore.
So then now both of the assistants just leave. They go away. So yeah, they take her to a hospital. So yeah, Todd, the guy who directed Tar, takes her and they drive away. It's like, okay, cool. Glad you guys were here for
a couple minutes.
Yeah, I don't really know why. But anyway, Owen Wilson gets a bit more of the story that Dr. Marrow didn't tell everybody else. So he finds out that Kane's wife actually killed herself. And so they're talking about maybe Crane blamed the wife for their stillborn children and drove her to it. There's a lot of talking about Crane.
A lot of skeptical.
Yeah, exactly.
Skeptical stuff.
People are not quite believing kinds of things. But we find out that Dr. Marrow is purposefully telling some parts of the story to start this like fear within them, to get the ball rolling in this creepy house where he's going to definitely like try to intentionally scare them, I bet. So then let's see. There's a lot of useless stuff that happens and I'm just like, what? We don't need to talk about all of this.
It's true.
So Eleanor starts hearing children whispering to her in the night when they're trying to sleep with each other.
Oh yeah.
No, sorry, not with each other, trying to sleep in the night. She hears children whispering to her. So she's the one that like bad stuff kind of starts to happen to. There's a scene where Dr. Marrow scares Luke by running into him. It's just kind of funny. Like Luke is just roaming the house. He's got like a baseball and a catcher's mitt, and he's just like casually walking through the house, and then Dr. Merrill runs into him. Both of them scream like they genuinely got scared by each other.
Yeah, it was really stupid.
It's one of the few jump scares in the movie, and I'm like they scared each other more than that scared me at all, I'd say.
Yeah, it didn't really do.
Yeah.
I was trying to find it in the script, but
the dialogue is despicable.
Yeah.
Like, what are these people even saying to each other? I don't understand. It had to be like unscripted or something.
If this movie was made now, I would be positive it was written by AI, because it doesn't feel like it was written by people.
It does not feel like people of flesh and blood would say these things truly.
Yeah.
But then we get these cool shots that give it this like gothic horror feel, and it kind of brings me back.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So then Eleanor is woken by the sounds of like this pounding on the walls, and then she hears Theo screaming out for her, and she runs to her aid. So Theo is also hearing these pounding sounds. Then the doors start to shake, and the room gets so cold that they can like see their breath in front of them inside of the house.
Which was a pretty cool effect.
I liked it. It was kind of cool.
This whole scene was pretty decent.
I liked it. Yeah, it wasn't so bad. But then Luke shows up to check in on them, and things seem okay. All he heard was Theo screaming. So yeah, he didn't actually hear any of the pounding. He goes into Eleanor's room to check things out, and no, nothing's there. And so they're all downstairs now in like the kitchen or something like that. Luke runs some water from the drain or from the sink, and the sounds of like the old plumbing is like that was the same sound as like the moaning and creaking that the house was making. So they blame all the noise on like bad plumbing basically. So they all try to like brush it off and go back to their nights. But then back in Nell's room, or Eleanor, the window opens itself, and then this CGI figure makes its way through like the various, like the curtains of the window and then the fabric on the sheets on the bed. It's a cool and creepy concept, but the CGI leaves a lot to be desired.
And I don't even know if it was necessary. There was just something so off about it, right? Like it looked bad.
Yeah.
But it was such a cool concept. Like
I liked the thought of it. I'm like, cool, the ghost travels through the fabric. You can only see it, like the face of it, as if like someone was underneath the fabric, right?
And it gave the idea that the ghost was like actually invisible, right? And it was only it's like the Invisible Man getting covered by a sheet or something, right?
Because I like that. I like that
same
you didn't
effect.
See like a spectral kid, right? You only saw their face through the sheets. It was just unfortunate that the CGI really did not back it up very well at all. Yeah. But so it's like the ghost of a child who says, "Find us, Eleanor," and then she disappears. Poof, poof. Yeah, so then the next day, Eleanor and Luke are chatting over their weird test results. He leaves her to go basically go flirt with Theo. He's kind of got a thing for her the whole time.
Oh, and he's very loud about it, too.
Yeah, he's super loud about it. And then as she's left alone, Nell has her hair get tugged right in front of her, and then something huge moves behind, there's a giant fireplace, and it's got like this curtain of chains right in front of it. Yeah. So you see something big, like, push itself through the chains, and so she freaks out and yells at everybody else. So then Luke and Dr. Merrow are like, okay, well, let's check this out. So they move this big chain curtain. They're checking out. It's a huge fireplace. You can fit like 10 people in this fireplace. Yeah. And so they find this huge flue. I don't know what a flue is.
Okay, they call it.
You want to tell me what a flue is?
I know, but just count.
Yeah, I don't know what a flue is.
Trivia. What are you doing, Count Trivia?
Yeah, so they call it a flue, and it's swinging like back and forth in the fireplace. It's huge.
Yeah, it's besides Jim.
Yeah, what is a flue, please?
Flue is real quick. So chimneys are built to like move the smoke up.
Yep.
Right, so that it doesn't like fill the house with like the smoke.
Yeah, I should hope so.
You know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay. Well, there's a second layer on the inside of the chimney that actually eases the smoke's passage. So it protects the inside of the chimney from getting like soot.
Yeah,
from, like getting destroyed.
That makes sense, and it also protects Santa when he's trying to fit down that chimney.
Yeah, that's why they call it flue powder.
Yeah,
from Harry Potter.
From the Harry Potter. It's so hard to not do your voice right back at you.
Don't.
I won't. I will do it. Okay.
Anyway, so it protects like the masonry and stuff from deteriorating because of the flue.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, this giant lion.
It keeps the chimney from getting sick, so it doesn't get the flu.
Someone explain. That's funny. Shake my hand.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm shaking your hand.
This giant lion, or whatever the hell is in this movie, it's like a big lion on a chain.
Like imagine like a grandfather clock, one of those big pendulum things swinging back and forth. It's like that, but it's the giant head of a lion.
I don't understand.
No, I don't really understand either. I don't know how that's a flu.
That's not a flu.
It doesn't seem like a flu, but whatever.
But listen, it flew over their heads.
And it comes back. It definitely comes back in a major way. Yeah, would you say, Science Jim?
It flew past me.
Yeah.
And then it flew right back.
Exactly.
I'm very full of puns now. Thank you, goodbye.
Thank you, goodbye. So Luke finds blood red writing up on the walls that says, "Welcome home, Eleanor." And she's starting to panic. They're all starting to blame each other because there's only 4 of them here. Since the 2 assistants left, it's only Theo, Luke, Eleanor, and Dr. Marrow. That's everybody there. So there's not a lot of people that could have done this.
No.
But so it seems like Dr. Marrow's project is working as intended thus far, right? They're all getting kind of scared about this story and ghosts in the house, all this kind of stuff, right? But there's also a trail of bloody footprints leading somewhere off in the distance that somehow none of them really noticed. But so Dr. Marrow speaks privately with Nell. He takes her out to this really, again, gorgeous greenhouse.
Oh, yeah.
I loved this set. It also had this really creepy, like, statue of a man. It's basically like, imagine a giant, like, pond in the middle of the place, but there's a statue of a dude like chilling in it, like it's his own private bath, and he's spitting a bunch of water out of his mouth. It was actually, I kind of liked
my
it.
impression of the fountain.
Also, this house's proportions are so gigantic that these actors always look teeny tiny. Like there's one shot, I think it was just in the last scene, Owen Wilson is like going through a door, but the door goes like from the floor all the way to the ceiling. So him next to this door looks like a minuscule man. And Derek says, he's like, "What, are we watching The Indian in the Cupboard?"
Yeah, well, it kind of gave that vibe, right? Like I would love the plot twist where at the end of the movie, the house roof like gets lifted off and there's a giant child.
Yes.
Just like moving them around.
Yeah, so truly it's a dollhouse the whole time.
I mean, it makes sense.
But so yeah, Marrow, there's nothing really that goes on here. I just wanted to mention the greenhouse set because they come back here a couple times. But Marrow tries to analyze her conditions, but he really gets nowhere with it.
Yeah.
So now we're at night again. Nell sees the bloody footprints leading away from her bed and into the hall. And she finds one of those secret bookcase doors, kind of like Scooby-Doo.
I love it.
And so there's some ghost kids speaking to her through some like old mirror. They're saying, "Eleanor, the ledger." And then so she's in Crane's study and she starts going through his old books and seeing his old textile mills had a lot of children working in them. And they all mysteriously died. The names are all crossed out around 11 or 12 years old. And there's a lot of them, like hundreds of these kids she's finding here. All of their names, their ages, all of that stuff.
So when we get this exposition dump, I feel like it's important to mention, this is like an hour and 10 minutes into this hour and 50-minute movie. So we've gone this long with essentially nothing happening.
Yeah.
I mean, like little things have happened, but it's been very drawn out.
Exactly. So yeah, I was surprised we ended up at the manor so quick, but that doesn't mean the movie was going at a quick pace. There's still like, a lot of things that dragged.
That scene where Nell and Theo are walking through the mansion is like a good 10 minutes long.
Took so long. It's like, do we really need to see this much of all of the house for this long? Just really, really encapsulating this beautiful blossoming relationship they don't have.
It really feels like they showed up to this mansion where they were filming it, and they were like, "Hold on, this mansion's super cool.
It's gorgeous.
Let's just film the mansion a bunch. Let's just give them 2 hours of mansion."
But speaking of Theo, Nell brings this ledger to Theo and tries to tell her how she's found, you know, these children ghosts are speaking to me, telling me they led me here, and Theo just like isn't buying it. She's like, "No, you're getting a little crazy. We should get you to bed," right? So she's back in her room now, and the creepy cherubs. There's like, I guess we haven't mentioned this. There's like cherub carvings all over her.
They're everywhere. They're like on the back of the chairs. They're on the walls. They're just
over the mantle. Like this room is like cherubs through the roof. The cherub scale is off the charts.
Would you call the chairs with cherubs on them cherubs?
Cherubs. I want to make a chair that is in the shape of a cherub, and it's going to be my cherub. Chair.
But it's like you sit down and it gives you a nice little back rub.
I don't know. It rubs me the wrong way.
See, we did the same joke, but slightly different.
See, exactly. We're getting there.
Incredible.
So anyway, so she's in the room, like brushing her hair, and then they weirdly like part. This is another really bad effect. They take her hair and like part it, like they're gonna like whisper in her ear or something like that, and then they just start to twist it around. So I think they're trying to like.
I thought they were trying to braid her hair.
Yeah. I have no idea. It didn't really matter.
I thought those kids were like trying to like play with her.
Yeah, exactly. But I wrote here, this section here is beginning. It's starting to drag for me. So it's like we're on to the next day.
Yeah.
Whatever. So Nell just happens to find Dr. Marrow's recordings he's been making this entire time, and is talking about her self-delusions and her emotional instability. And Luke is actually right on the money. Again, Captain Obvious telling us everything we already know. And so he can see that this was never a study on insomnia, but rather a study on how they would react to the phenomena going on in this house.
Yeah.
And then as they're all talking about this, they're in the greenhouse again. Up above, Nell is looking and she sees the hanging body of Crane's wife, just like up in the rafters.
This was kind of gnarly. It was kind of unexpected.
Came out of nowhere too. I was I was not expecting to see that. That really just kind of popped out with no hesitation. So now Nell is looking into Crane's history and finds pictures of Crane's second wife trying to tell her to go to the fireplace, like flip book style.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a neat effect, I guess. She's like looking through all these pictures and they slowly start to flip, and it's like her pointing at the fireplace and like, go there.
It made me giggle, but at the same time, I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was one of those things I was laughing at, but then I was like, wait, that was kind of cool.
It's one of those things like it makes me laugh, but I'm like, no, it's not bad. I kind of like that. So she goes to the fireplace, digs through the ashes at the bottom of the fireplace, and finds bones in a skull. Oh no!
It felt like that scene from the new Haunted Mansion movie where they find the head. I don't know if you saw that.
And if you didn't, there's a scene where they find bone skull and stuff.
In a mansion.
Crazy.
In a chimney.
Then the children's choir of ghosts call out to her, and she finds the door that she thinks they're trapped behind and tries to open it. And then a really weird thing happens. She can't get behind this door, and then this like ghostly hand stretches out from the door and just like pushes her back.
Yeah, man. I actually really liked this.
It was a cool thing, still not great CGI, but it was kind of a neat thing that happened.
The concept of it was really cool. I kind of felt like the house was kind of becoming a monster house at this point, which
I was really getting
in.
that vibe, like
I
total Monster House vibes.
Yeah.
Which, if you haven't seen Monster House, go check out that movie. It's very good.
That movie taught me what female body parts are.
Yeah, exactly, like the uvula.
Yeah,
exactly. So anyway, she can't get behind it. So then she goes and tells everyone's what she's discovered about how Crane killed these children. He took them from his mill. He killed his second wife, Carolyn, after she found out his secret. And then Dr. Merrill's trying to tell her, like, hey, none of that is true. But now Theo is maybe starting to believe her. Now she's like, hold on, maybe she's onto something. Even though a while back she was like, you're a little crazy. Maybe you should take a nap a little bit.
Yeah.
But now she's kind of on her side. But then Merrill just kind of tells all. He's like, hey guys, you're a part of an experiment on fear and hysteria. None of this is real. Like, I'm sorry. It was never about insomnia. I've lied to all of you. You've all been duped. Stop going crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of like when you go too far, right? You're like, oh shoot, people.
It was just a joke. It was just a joke. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We just joking.
Bro, it's just a prank.
Bro, quit taking it so seriously. It's just a prank. Because there's even a scene where Theo's yelling at him. She slaps him even. And the acting in that scene is okay.
No, it's not great.
No, it's not great, is it?
No.
It's fine. It's fine. So now we get a kind of cool scene. Eleanor's in her room. Again, like, it's funny to me how much they keep leaving her alone in her room when this bad stuff keeps happening all the time.
All the time.
So her room is getting cold again. She can see her breath in front of her. There's these dark shadows that start to come into the room with her from the window.
This is my favorite scene.
And then the room starts to form these eyes like a face. Like there's two windows up on the ceiling that start to form these eyes, and these ridges come up and form like the brow of it. Like it was really cool. It makes a whole. It just starts to contort and make this really cool face. It was a neat effect. I liked it a lot.
It's the eyes of Sauron. Wow.
But then she starts getting chased throughout the house by ghostly forces, I guess. And then she's in the mirror room again, and her face starts to weirdly contort itself, and she's in the spinning calliope room. It's just kind of a chaos scene, a lot happening. Then she's looking at herself in the mirror, and then her reflection just grows a big baby bump.
Yeah, that was dumb.
What happened there? What's that
man.
about? And then she, to herself from her reflection, goes, "Welcome home, Eleanor." It's so much. And then the ghost children start telling her, only the doors can hold him, Eleanor, and they're still asking for her help. And we didn't mention this in the past. While Theo and Eleanor were looking through the house, there's this one door that's got these carvings of like purgatory on it.
Yeah. And it said, stand in front lest you be judged.
Yeah. So there's purgatory doors, and they have some weird conversation about like what purgatory is. And Eleanor's like, oh, I was in purgatory for 11 years. And then Theo's like, yeah, I was in purgatory once, an 18-hour flight from LA to where was it, Paris, I think?
I don't know, but it was wrong.
It was wrong. That's not an 18-hour flight.
Why would you make that mistake, David?
How dare you?
David
she meant to say LA to Australia, because that's a real 18-hour flight. So anyway,
maybe David himself had never taken that plane.
Yeah, he's just like, I don't know. It's how far can it be? 18 hours? Man.
Just type it.
Yeah, exactly. Just type it away. Getting this movie done. So now the rest of the gang goes to look for Eleanor because she just ran away, right? And they find her up in the rafters of the greenhouse in a very precarious situation. All Owen Wilson does is just call out the obvious, because he's talking about, oh no, the staircase is going to fall. And sure enough, Dr. Merrill goes to ascend the spiral staircase to save her, but then it starts to fall apart under his weight. Now they're both in trouble. There's like ghostly forces undoing the bolts on the staircases, trying to like knock it down. It's just Owen Wilson really wowing us with telling us everything that's happening.
We're describing it more interestingly than it was. There was something about this scene that was boring me to death.
Pretty boring, honestly.
Like
it should have been kind of high tension, right?
Yeah.
They were in a precarious situation
at all.
But yeah, so like without much effort, he safely gets her down. So now they're all chilling in Eleanor's room, and they're a bit at odds about like when to get Eleanor to a hospital and how she needs help and who wrote the words on the wall, blah, blah, blah. So they decide at the end to take shifts watching Eleanor. And this movie is just very repetitive. It just keeps repeating the same stories, the same things, the same blame game, all of it over and over again.
And yet they keep putting her back in her room and keep guarding her. Like,
exactly.
This happens
following
so
the same
many
cycle.
times.
We should have made a flow chart for this one.
Oh my God, you're right.
So Dr. Marrow is out by the fountain at the greenhouse, and he gets attacked by it this time. It's like it takes a huge hand and tries to like hold him under the water, and then just stops.
Yep.
That's the thing, is like no one is ever really in danger in this movie.
No.
Because anytime something happens that could kill them, it just stops instantly. Like,
it just ends.
Like this haunted monster house is not that powerful. It keeps losing, it keeps stopping.
And that doesn't the fountain like spit blood on him?
Yeah, it does. It spits out this blood red, because you're like, oh, someone lost their Kool-Aid.
Because that's what it looked like. It didn't even look like blood.
It really looked like Kool-Aid in the scene. So now it keeps showing these things above Eleanor's bed, and the best way that I can describe them is like stalactites. It's like someone had built wooden stalactites above a bed. I don't understand. I've never seen it in any other like Gothic manor, anything like this. I don't understand why it is the way that it is. But so the whole room again begins to creak and contort, and then it's all starting to break apart. And I wrote, "Where is Luke? He said that he was going to be there as the thing." You're giving me a face. What's up? Uh-huh.
So I just learned some.
Yeah.
So you know how there's stalactites and stalagmites?
Are you learning the way to tell the difference?
Yeah, so stalagmites, you might trip over them because they're on the ground.
Exactly. Stalactites hold tight to the ceiling.
Have you heard that before?
Yeah, that's the only reason I knew that when writing this down. I'm like, I can't say stalactites if I say the wrong one.
That's incredible.
But yeah, I remember that one. But so Luke was supposed to be watching her, and he's not. He left her alone on the first watch.
Yeah.
So then she gets pinned into the bed by these stalactite things that just like stretch down from the ceiling and hold her into the bed.
Scary, like
a little
not
bit scary
as like a oh goodness, this movie's scary, but like in concept, having those things above your bed is scary, and then having them come through and actually do something is creepy.
Absolutely, yeah. So she's pinned there, and then her bed starts to be dragged towards like some amalgamation of like arms reaching out from the ceiling that like come down to her in this weird blob. I actually kind of liked it. It was a really cool thing.
Yeah, it was a really cool.
Again, CGI so, but it was a neat effect, and I liked that.
Yeah.
And now all of them see this house monster thing reaching out for her. So now no one can say that she's crazy anymore. Like they've all seen this.
They've all seen it.
So then they end up rescuing her somehow, and then she talks to Dr. Marrow about how, like, why did you call me here? And he's like, I didn't call you. The first time we ever spoke was when you were here at the house with me. So it's like, oh no, who called her here? This is crazy. Woo.
That's stupid.
So they're trying to escape. Luke runs his car into the front gate, but it still can't break through. Yeah. And the ghost children are still calling out to Eleanor for help. So she just like instantly is like, I gotta go back inside and help them. So she actually ends up making it into that locked room where the children were calling out from her, the one that like pushed that ghostly arm, pushed her away. And so now she's right where she's wanted. Carolyn was her great-great-grandmother, as it turns out, and she wants to stay to help the children. Crane is still haunting them, even in death. So she's like, I have to stay and help them. Crane is my great-great-grandfather, I guess. Like, the plot gets a little strange here. I don't feel like she needed to have this connection whatsoever.
I had completely missed that too, because that happened so fast, and I must have been saying something or writing a note, and it just like completely went past me.
Yeah. So then she's like pretty resolved to be like, she's a completely different character now. This one, she's like, no, I have to stay. This is my home. I live here forever now. And everyone's like, we should get out of here though. She's like, I'll help you get outside. So they all start to try to run out, and then all of the doors start closing in on them because it's a monster house. You know, Crane's not going to let them go. They're trying to like break the windows, and this kind of funny thing that happens where like they're taking chairs and smashing the windows with them, and then the chairs just get sucked up into the windows, so they can't get out. And then
do you think that that's what's happening when you're like, you know, when you're vacuuming up on the ground and you like start to get the sound?
Yeah,
and the little bugs are down there like, no, don't take me away, please. And they're like using a chair to like stop it. And they're little bug chairs. and then the little bug chair gets stuck up in it,
and that's when like the vacuum gets jammed a little bit.
Yeah.
God, it's got another bug chair in here. God,
get another bug chair.
Don't even pay rent.
Bug rent.
So Luke gets pulled to the fireplace via this rug. Like it just like sweeps out from underneath him and just pulls him completely all the way across the whole room into the fireplace. It was kind of a fun effect. And the fireplace looks like this giant mouth. There's these two big like lights on the front, on the top of it that make it look like eyeballs and a big old mouth. And so he's okay. So cool. He stands up in the fireplace, but then remember that flew by? Well, that flew back.
Right into his head.
Right into his head. He's just standing smack dab in the middle of it, and then whoop, just completely takes the guy's head off.
Yeah, man.
I was in shock. All of us were.
Yeah, mouths agape.
Because through the whole movie, I kind of accepted, like, we're not going to get, like, any gore in this movie. It's not going to be one of those movies. We're just not going to get any cool kills. And then it just takes Owen Wilson's head off. God, why is that so hard to say?
Owen Wilson's Wed's
off. Yeah, so rest in peace, Owen Wilson. He's just dead. There's nothing else that can be done.
Yeah, he's gone.
And then the fireplace starts spitting out ashes and bone out into there. And then Nell has like a battle with this metal statue of a griffin that like comes to life.
Oh yeah, for no reason.
Yeah, she tells Dr. Marrow and Theo's like, go, I'll take this. And she like takes like a hot poker for the fire and just keeps hitting it over and over again. And then it just kind of stops fighting her.
It's like, okay, I'm done.
Again, every scary thing that this house could do to her is just like negated. Like the whole, like when it tried to drown Owen Wilson, when the Griffin statue's fighting her, it just like stops for no reason. Like, why is this happening?
Okay.
Yeah. So then, Nell calls out to Crane as these statues are watching her when she passes them. She's like trying to have this like cool showdown with him. Like she has any powers whatsoever. I don't understand why she thinks she has any power at all, right?
No, yeah.
So then she's standing in front of the purgatory door, right?
Yeah.
And then from across the room, at the top of the staircase, this tapestry that had Crane's painting on it, it just like pulls itself off the ground, and then this giant, I would say Grim Reaper-esque Hugh Crane comes out to Nell.
Smoky creature.
It's really cool. And
this part looked dope.
Yeah, so she has to trap this ghostly crane behind these purgatory doors. And his CGI is decent, but I think that's because he's mostly darkness. Like he's all shadowy figures. Yeah, it's a lot of smoke.
Dark and smoke.
But it's a real
really
like Ghost of Christmas Future type character.
Oh,
I actually thought it was kind of cool.
This was arguably my favorite scene in the whole movie.
But then it gets a little lame when she's like, "Don't you guys get it? It's always been about family."
Yeah, we were actually watching Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I didn't know I was watching Fast and the Furious. Like, I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Nell was actually short for Nell Nick Tarico. So her performance. Her performance in this final standoff is pretty pitiful. Not gonna lie.
I'm really trying not to say the word bad. It's rough.
Pitiful is what I will say.
Pitiful. Pretty bad.
So she gets like, I kind of missed this. I think I was taking a note while this happened, but she kind of gets like slammed into the door with Crane's ghost, and she looks like this Renaissance painting, like T-pose with a bunch of arms holding her up against the door. It actually does look really pretty.
It really looks
It's
cool.
a really cool look. I'm like take one frame from this movie and make it like a Renaissance painting. That's it. That's what it is.
Yep.
And so I guess that just worked. Crane's spirit is like successfully trapped in the door. And then the ghosts of all the dead children just start flying up to heaven. Here they go. And what was weird about this was they all start flying up, whatever. Nell looked fine. Because I thought
nothing had happened to her.
I thought she was going to be like trapped in the door forever, but she actually gets like slowly lowered down by all the hands. They gently drop her off on the floor, and she looks totally okay. She doesn't look like wounded or like hurt at all. But then she just dies.
Yeah. Then her soul gets up out of her body and walks away.
She literally
kind of like Mickey Mouse style. You know how in Mickey Mouse cartoons when they're like ghost would stand up and walk away? Exactly like that.
Yeah. And she literally just goes, guess I'll die.
Guess I'll die.
It just decides to float up with all these ghost children because she saved them now. Her job is done. It's kind of weird, I guess. But so now the only survivors are what? It's just Dr. Marrow and Theo now, who kind of became useless characters who did nothing. At a certain point. I guess they were just always useless characters. I guess you're right. So yeah, the caretakers show back up at the house in the morning, and they just look at the mess and say, city people. They are so jaded to the whole situation. And so, yeah, they just release the only two survivors. And I guess Dr. Marrow and Theo are just going to leave them to clean up the mess that they left.
They don't say anything.
No.
This really bothered me.
Yeah, they're not like, oh, real sorry about the mess that we left. They're like, no, have fun with that. Cool.
They leave two corpses in there, one without a head.
Yeah.
And a very big mess.
So the camera zooms out and we're taken away by again, great music.
Yeah.
And so that's the end of the movie. Cheers. So we finished it. Did you get a kill count in that one? I guess there were only
two.
There were two. There weren't a lot of characters to be dead in this one.
And no jump scares either. I mean, kind of a jump scare when they're in the hallway, but that was it.
Yeah.
This movie just
it happened. It happened. It really did. So, shall we discuss our expectations for this one?
Let's do it.
So I wrote a sophisticated set reminiscent of GDT, Guillermo del Toro, and I just said, absolutely, the set was probably the best part of the entire thing.
Yeah,
but maybe that's because this place just really exists and it's already beautiful because it was shot at like a real manor, a real house like that.
A manor you can go and stay at.
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
it's a real ass place.
Yep. For me, some horrible CGI. Yeah, it was mostly just the kids, though, for me. Like, the cherub kids was like where 90% of the bad CGI came from.
And the ghostly like coming through the sheets kind of thing wasn't super great. Again, I did enjoy all of the concepts. I liked them in theory, just in practice, none of them really came through super great. A-list actors, D-list performances, and the acting in this movie was probably the most consistent thing that left me bothered and scratching my head, being like, what is going on? Yeah. Why are they saying these things? Why?
And I feel like that was a good, like, because I mean, I had the same expectation, and they all kind of just phoned it in, right? Mm-hmm. Nothing really wowed me.
It was honestly shocking to see, because like I've seen a lot of these actors give really great performances.
I mean, this is
not
after Schindler's List.
Yeah. Imagine
Liam
doing
Neeson
Schindler's List and then coming in to do this one.
Like, what?
Yeah.
It was just kind of unfortunate. And I feel like a good amount of that is due to the script and probably due to the direction.
Yeah.
Right? But
definitely.
It's rough.
I said little scare factor. And not a lot of scare factor. But I mean, the story kept me engaged with the haunting tale of dead children enough, but it wasn't very scary at all.
I wrote really forced jump scares, and that kind of goes along with yours. Nothing really.
No.
There wasn't even any scare.
Yeah, not at all. Really, the only big scare was when Owen Wilson and Liam Neeson scared each other.
Yeah.
And they scared themselves more than they scared us at all.
Exactly.
I wrote very questionable CGI, and just for sure, that was rough. There was such cool ideas, just not executed well, even for 99, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Cringeworthy music. Actually, the music was a highlight for me.
Honestly,
I really enjoyed the music. Some of it didn't fit, but nothing of it made me go, ugh, what is going on with the music?
Very, very good music.
Very uncommon for a movie from 1999.
Really, though. And then my final expectation was very dull, dragging start. And I was shocked to say that within about 5 minutes, we were already at Hill House and getting the ball rolling. That doesn't mean the movie didn't drag in other areas, but I was wrong in that first expectation.
Desperate need to watch the original. Kinda. I mean, I feel like it would be more of the same, but I'm kind of torn. Like, I do want to watch the original, but I don't know if I want to waste my time revisiting this lore.
I do want to see it done well, right? Yeah. I'm curious to see this story taken and how much has changed between the two of them, because I actually don't know if it's all completely the same.
It's pretty different from what I understand. Yeah, same concept.
I guess, how does it compare to like the Haunting of Hill House? Probably very.
It's extremely different. Yeah, completely. They're all kind of just like the same name with similar themes.
Yeah,
right?
I'm sure it's a very different story. Yeah. So for surprises, I was surprised the sets. Again, I guess I already expected it coming in, but like literally all the way through the end, I felt the need to shout about how gorgeous any and all the sets were. Like, ask Derek. There were so many times where I'm like, it's just so pretty.
Yeah, no, I mean, love it. We were all there. It was
just
gorgeous.
My second surprise says how much the movie and the actors just mansplained everything that was happening. We didn't often get the chance to spell it out ourselves. Owen Wilson would just say, "Wow!" explanation dump, like the whole thing. Tell us all
the whole movie. Yeah.
Just a killer soundtrack, very very good for what ended up just being an okay movie. Yeah. And then the direction it ended up taking was a bit of a surprise, not necessarily in a good way, but not necessarily in a bad way. I was really not ready for a monster house situation with the ghosts from Coraline, the ghost children, telling them, save us, please. But I mean, here we are.
Yeah, you're totally right. For me, my surprise is the music. It was just super good. It didn't really fit the movie sometimes, but it really, really worked for me. The effects of the final scene were probably one of my biggest surprise.
Oh, totally.
I really, really enjoyed him walking down the stairs. I liked the door from the beginning. Like, it worked for me.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Owen Wilson getting his head bit off.
Wow.
Was such a big surprise.
I'll go back and say that's one for me too.
A literal surprise, right?
Well, again, just because like you've gone the entire movie not having any big gory kill, nothing.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, bloop,
off with his head.
Wowie,
wowie, wow.
Wowie, wowie, zowie. The use of the architecture to scare. There's a movie that I love from like 2021 called The Night House, which 90% of the scares in that movie are the architecture getting morphed into what you think it should be scaring you.
That's right. I've shown you about that.
I love that movie to death.
It's like a perception, like mind trick kind of thing. It's really, really neat, actually.
Yeah, it's a fantastic film from 2020. Sorry. David Bruckner did that movie. personally, it's one of my top 10 horror movies of all time. And so anytime another movie does that, where they take the architecture and shift it, it just really, really works for me.
Totally.
And so the scene specifically with the eyes was such a surprise for me.
I was not expecting the house to form a face like that.
No,
so
because
cool.
the whole thing worked too, because the shadow comes in and then it kind of creates a mouth, and then the eye, the glass windows that were there the whole time.
Yeah, that's what I love so much about it.
Down and look like eyes,
because it takes things you've already been looking at, and it didn't look like a face before, but then suddenly just a little change of that perspective, things contort a little bit. Oh, now that's a face, and it's always been a face.
I loved that a lot.
Yeah,
so that was probably
cool.
my biggest surprise, and honestly my favorite part of the movie as a whole, because it did do it a few times. So yeah, that's my surprises.
Verdicts for us?
Yeah, what's your verdict?
Verdicts, I'm going to say that was almostable. This one was real close to being horrible for me, but it ran about 30 minutes longer than it needed to, and the script felt so uneven that I could not put this on my personal horrible ranking. So there was just not enough to pull it there. It was very close, and I did enjoy it. I don't regret it. I had a decent time watching it. So.
Yeah. For me, this music was almostable. Hey. I really wanted so much more of the things that actually worked for me and less of the bad stuff. I wanted more dialogue. It was so close. I wanted to like it. I really did. Not going into the movie, but while watching it, I was I want to like this because of the architecture and everything. But I found myself laughing more than being scared and more than enjoying it.
Yeah, absolutely. Blah, blah, it is me, Count Trivia. The fans can see me now in all of my glory. Oh, Derek is scratching me. It feels good. Yes, thank you. And for that, I will give you a treat. I will give you your trivia. Take your cards and I will be on my way. Hacha! And then he's off. So, trivia for today. So, the house used to film is located in Grantham, England, and is owned by the University of Evansville, Indiana. It is used by students that study abroad, so they can stay there as they do that kind of thing. So
cool.
Fun fact, Stephen King wrote the first draft of the script. Him and Steven Spielberg together were writing the first draft of the script.
That is insane.
But then there were creative differences that ended up getting King out of it. So when this fell through, he actually reworked it into Rose Red, which I believe is a TV show that he did.
Yeah, and it's actually pretty well revered.
Is it really?
I've seen stuff on Rose Red.
So yeah, so that stemmed from this. It's a rework of the original draft he was making for this one.
Just think for a second. You get a script handed to you, written by the Stephen King, coke-fueled boy, Stephen King, and you ruin it.
Yeah. It's crazy, right?
What are you doing?
So yeah, actually when he left, Steven Spielberg was kind of not wanting to be a part of the production anymore. He needed some help, so he actually just handed it off, hired David Self to rewrite the whole thing. So yeah, now it's basically
threw it away.
Basically threw it away, and he's taken his name off of a lot of it. We'll get into that. So Liam Neeson nicknamed Catherine Zeta-Jones the Welsh Gazelle, because I didn't know this. Catherine Zeta-Jones is Welsh. But he nicknamed her the Welsh Gazelle because they repeated this running scene time and time again, and he just couldn't keep up with her. Old man Liam Neeson is I can't keep up with you.
I don't know where you run, but I will run after you.
I will run after you, and I will run out of breath. Funny enough, Catherine Zeta-Jones and Liam Neeson were they were, I guess they were buddies on this movie, but they were so frightened on the set of the film that neither of them wanted to film there after dark.
Oh my God.
After the dark, in the night. In the narc.
Really
Liam Neeson was actually super scared of heights, and when they did that scene where he was hanging off of the staircase, he was actually genuinely terrified.
Oh,
he was no acting required for that. I hate heights. The second adaptation of the book was going to be called this second adaptation, because this is the second iteration of The Haunting of Hill House in a movie form. It was actually going to be titled The Haunting of Hill House, but it was shortened to The Haunting to avoid confusion with The House on Haunted Hill from 1999.
Okay, yeah,
which
is the one.
Yeah, so that's actually, because there's actually a second one, because there's the one with Vincent Price, and then there's another one from 99 that they I guess they were released too close to each other, so they're we can't release The Haunting of Hill House and The House on Haunted Hill, so let's do a different thing. So yeah, now it's just The Haunting, short and sweet. Steven Spielberg was so disgusted by the quality of the final product of the film that he removed his name and ensured that the credit made no single mention of him. It actually seems like him and the director of this movie, Jean de Bont, swapped movies. I can't remember what he was working on at the time, but he was in pre-production for another movie that Steven Spielberg took over for, and then Jean de Bont took over this movie.
What?
So he's basically hey buddy, you want to trade? Hey man, what'd you get for your Halloween candy? Oh, I got The Haunting. Oh, I'll trade you. That sounds cool. This is actually really interesting to me. So remember how we're talking about how incredible the set was for this movie?
Yeah.
So it's actually a set. A lot of it was not actually inside of this house. So there are actually several sets depicting Hill House. Some of the largest interior sets ever built. They were so big they had to be built in the hangar that housed the Spruce Goose, which is the mammoth airplane built by Howard Hughes. Apparently, it is just a gigantic airlift. It is so big they had to build this like dome hangar just to house the thing.
What the heck?
But yeah, so that's where they had to build these sets because they were so huge, which makes sense because we had Indian in the Cupboard style, like teeny tiny Owen Wilson next to this big ass door, right?
Yeah.
The creaks and moans heard throughout the house were recorded and played during the filming in order to get a more natural expression of fear out of the actors, which I think is kind of funny.
Yeah,
so imagine you're acting there and they just play, and it's like, ooh, I'm so scared.
Oh, I'm spooked.
So yeah, the mansion set to build had cost about 8 million Great British pounds. It's funny. It says 8 million or 13 million. I don't know why it gave me both of the numbers.
Well, that's 8 million pounds or 13
Oh, there it
million
is. There it is.
American.
See, yeah. 8 million pounds, 13 million American dollars of 1999. So that's equivalent to about $20 million as of 2020.
Dang.
So yeah, a big part of that budget just went into building these gigantic sets. And then finally, before this film got made, Wes Craven was developing a remake to The Haunting 1963, but dropped out in favor of directing Scream.
Hey, I'm real glad he did Scream.
Yeah. Isn't that kind of funny?
That's insane.
I love finding that kind of stuff out. It's like,
too.
so instead of doing this movie that ended up being really bad, they went and did this incredibly iconic thing. Derek?
Hey, we didn't
pick a movie.
Next week.
You want to watch The Wolfman?
Let's watch The Wolfman.
Let's watch The Wolfman.
Let's
do it.
That's a good start to Christmas.
Yeah, sure.
Good time to Christmas
It's a
time.
Christmassy time. When should we watch the mean one? I guess we should put that on our list at some point for December.
The what one?
The
mean one.
mean one with
Maybe we do that for
actor
Christmas.
for Art the Clown. That could be a good Christmas one.
Yeah, with
But
Damien Leone.
So next, when did The Wolfman come out?
2010.
Wow, the movie's so much older than I thought
Rick
it was.
Baker's in it. That's crazy.
Because again,
Emily Blunt.
he helped out with the makeup effects, but he's also in it. It would appear he's a gypsy
Anthony
man.
Hopkins, Benicio del Toro, Emily Blunt,
It's
Hugo
got quite a
Weaving.
cast, and I'm a little nervous to pick this one because I do really enjoy this movie.
I've never seen
and
it,
I
though.
remember I can't remember how many years ago. It was a couple years ago though that I watched it with that whole like I don't know, this movie might actually be bad now that I'm watching it again. But I remember it holding up, so like I'm nervous to see this with a critical lens.
I mean, like we did this with Van Helsing too.
Mm-hmm.
It won an Oscar.
Oh shit! Should we talk? Just say that. What did it win?
It won Best Achievement in Makeup for Rick Baker and Dave Elsey.
Rick Baker did kick ass, so that totally makes sense. Of all the things with the movie, that's probably what would have won it some stuff.
He's did the werewolf makeup, right?
Yeah, of course. That's like
I know who Rick Baker is. He's the guy who does the makeup.
Yeah,
He did the How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 2000.
I actually didn't know he was behind the Jim Carrey's Grinch makeup. That's hilarious.
Well, he did.
Totally makes sense. I believe that.
All right, well, cool. That's exciting.
So yeah, come have a howling good time with us next week with The Wolfman from 2010. Please do feel free to feel inclined to follow us on our social medias, if you will. We have Instagram at _was_horrible, Twitter at TWH Podcast, Facebook at That Was Horrible Podcast, and YouTube at That Was Horrible. You can find us on all of those sites. And I don't know why I decided to rap that. Guess I've just been feeling a little bit like Lin-Manuel Miranda. I can't. I'm done.
Up on Washington Heights.
Lights up on Werewolf Heights. We're gonna watch a Wolfman.
Oh my goodness! I'm gonna go stay at a haunted mansion now. I think.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna go. Bless the house and make sure it's not a monster house. Actually, or maybe I'll just go watch Monster House. That sounds fun.
No, let's go watch The Night House.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, we'll do that instead. How about you watch? We'll put it on. You got one monster. You got one Night House. I'll watch the Monster House. We'll watch them together.
And one of them will have a uvula.
And one of them will have a uvula, but not both of them. And it's your job to decide. But anyway, I'm Isaac.
I'm Derek.
And this has been That Was Horrible. Stay spooky.
Thanks for coming in.
Thanks
Stay
for coming
spooky.
in.
Goodbye.